Gonna learn how to make your first API call, your first HTTP request. We're gonna use this wonderful library called Axios. Axios is a popular JavaScript library used in React Native and other JavaScript frameworks to make HTTP requests to APIs. And it's very easy to use and have some key features. For example, automatic JSON conversion and error handling, custom headers, and other wonderful features. If you see here, you're gonna notice that 56 million installed weekly. So now let's install this package to our project. So let's press here, npm I Axios, and go to our terminal and open a new terminal and paste this code, npm I Axios. This I is a shortcut for install. Now let's press save. Now the package is installed. Let's just reload our app. Press R in this terminal to reload our app. Okay. Now let's go and make our first HTTP requests. Remember our project? If you press here at this endpoint, you're gonna notice this endpoint of box. Okay, you can just copy it like this, and let's go to our project and create our first GET request. First, let's store this endpoint inside a constant. So let's add a constant here. Let's name it endpoint URL equals to this value. I just copy it from here. Okay, then let's create our fetch data function. So let's create our function with the name fetch data to fetch data from an API, or we can make it get list of box. Choosing good names is better for your project, especially if you build a big project. Okay, this function is gonna be an async function. So let's add the async keyword here before those two parentheses. So async function in JavaScript is a special type of functions that allow you to work with asynchronous operations. And this is a basic JavaScript. Okay? So if you don't understand async, don't worry, you can follow along with me. But you need first to take a JavaScript course, okay? Now, let's create a constant called response. And this response is gonna be the response that we got from this endpoint. This response is equal to await. This await word, we use it with async to handle asynchronous operations. Await our Axios, we're gonna import it, Axios. We've used auto import here, but if your editor didn't import Axios, you have to make sure from this line import Axios from Axios. Okay, dot look here. We have here get to get data from database. We have here post to add data to database. We have here delete to delete data from database, and we have bot to update data in database. In this endpoint, we're gonna get list of box. So we're gonna use the get method. And inside get, we're gonna pass the endpoint URL. Like here. Finally, let's log the response. Now, we get this function here, get list of box, but we need to fire this function. So let's create a button. And when we press on this button, we're gonna fire this function, get list of box. And let's add a title to this button, list of box. And let's press save. Now let's open our terminal. Let's clear it using Command and K or Control and K if you're using Windows. And now let's press on this button. Look, we got here our data. Look, we get here a lot of data inside an object, but we want to get only the list of bugs, so we can destruct this response because this response has a lot of properties. For example, has config, has headers, request, status, and we want to get the data. So let's press on data and clear terminal and press save and press on this button again. Now look, we get our data here. The cover, this is the cover of the book, created at, email of seller, the ID, name of author, and let me tell you a little bit trick. To format data in JavaScript, you can use this JSON.stringify method and put your data inside stringify and add null and 3. Let's press save and clear our terminal and press on get list of box again. Look, our data is formatted thanks to this JSON.stringify method that make our data formatted. Here the name of author, cover, price of book, email of seller, and the ID. In next lesson, we're gonna learn how to render those things inside text inside our app.